How are you feeling? You got John Riggs here, and even with the PlayStation 5, the new Xbox, and Oculus Quest 2, new stuff happening, I'm still getting so much play out of my Nintendo Switch. So much so, here are 18 games in this video that I'm playing that you maybe not. And if you noticed anything different about my Nintendo Switch, these Joy-Cons are from Singland. Now, when I first opened this box, I was like, these look interesting. I mean, they feel like a different kind of texture. They're a little lighter than your typical Joy-Cons. However, saving a couple of bucks, let's pop them in, and the more I play around with it, the more I'm like, yeah, they work just fine. They work like Joy-Cons should. The buttons have a little bit extra spring to them that you may not be used to. I kind of like it, but I'm still getting used to it as well. And I also like how the buttons are kind of risen up a little bit. Even the plus and minus give you a proper square button, not just kind of like a sliver that you're supposed to press. Overall, I think they're pretty neat, and hey, you know what? So far anyway, there's no drift, okay? For more information, you can check out a link in the description below. Up first, we have Hide and Dance. I couldn't wait to play this game. I loved their other game that, like, Mom Hid My Game. And this one is a rhythm game, and I love my rhythm games. However, the gimmick behind it is not only do you have to hit the buttons at the right time, but you have to watch out for Mom. You don't want Mom to see that you're dancing. I don't know why or why not. However, you can kind of see her open up the door, peek a little bit, and when she opens up the door, if you press your buttons, then you'll do something very casual, apparently. If she does catch you dancing, well, then that's game over for you. Plenty of unlockables, too, like new songs to unlock. There are new characters you can unlock, too. You can have Dancing Grandpa, if you'd like. And each level starts out as easy, but when you accomplish that one, then you can move on to the harder difficulty levels. A lot going on with this game, super, super cheap as well, and I love games like this. PartTime UFO was featured in a Nintendo Direct not too long ago from HAL Laboratories, the people who brought us Kirby, the people who brought us Lolo, and so much more. And it is that charm, that fun. I could see PartTime UFO becoming a staple character. I could see PartTime UFO becoming a new character that they can use for other games in the future, and I sure hope they do. So the UFO plays like a crane, and you have to do different things for different levels. Like this one is I have to stack up the cheerleaders so high, and yeah, if I do it in a certain order, I'll even get the bonus points and all that. And there's other stages like you have to put the toys away. There's other stages like you have to, go fishing and fish for certain things and stuff like that too. A lot of gameplay going on with this. I love this game. Perfect game for just about anyone, I think. PartTime UFO. Make sure you check it out sometime soon. Nobody told me one of my favorite NES hidden gems, North and South, was remade for modern consoles, and this is the Bluecoats North and South. It's the same game. You can play as the North or the South. You can rewrite history. The South will rise again. Well, you can make that happen in this game. And up front, it looks like a Risk-style game. Up front, it looks like a kind of like, oh man, I don't know if I like these kind of games. Trust me, this one's actually really easy to figure out. The more land you take, that's the better off you're doing, right? But eventually, there's going to be a conflict. And there's a couple of different ways for the conflict. Kind of the traditional one is if you go to someone else's land and they're there too, then it turns into like this battlefield. Now you control your squadron, you control the cannon, and you control your horses, but you have to keep switching back and forth between which one you want to control and how you control them. Naturally, you defeat those enemies, then you take over the land. That piece of land anyway, that state. Well, if you want to take over the bunker, you want to capture the fort, the NES version turns into a side-scrolling game. This one turns into a first-person shooter. And naturally, you have to just, shoot the bad guys. You can also use your melee attack or anything. I understand this game doesn't have, like, Doom-style graphics and all that, but man, I love the fact that they remade this game, and it's available now on the Switch. It's called the Bluecoats North and South, and it's available, hey, right now. I had to check this game out. It's called Ord. I guess that's what it's called. It's like those old school text adventures. There's no graphics, it's just words. And the words in this game are one word each. So that makes it so much easier to play through. It's like a this or that. You go through there, this or that. Go to the next one, this or that. And it'll let you know what's going on. And it'll also let you know if you, didn't take the right path, didn't choose the right answer. I haven't played through all of the scenarios yet. I'm kind of saving it for a little bit. But man, I love games like this. This is just, this is great. I love it. Got the Serious Sam collection, and when I say the Serious Sam collection, it is seriously the Serious Sam collection. Play online, play split screen, have a friend along if you'd like. You got Serious Sam 1, 2, and 3, BFE even included in this one. Got a couple of DLCs you can choose from as well. The Serious Sam games, man, old school fun. I love games like this. Love the personality, love the wit, love the commentary that Serious Sam has. And it's one of these kind of old school shooters, but looks so well, and it's all available on the Switch, and it's all for one download. You get the one thing, you get them all, man. There's not much to go on if you've never played a Serious Sam game. I mean, it looks like it plays, right? It's one of these style of games.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye.
But Serious Sam was one game I kind of got into, and I'm so happy it's available now for the Nintendo Switch. I love this. Check this out.
Yourself. Uh-oh.
Cake Bash is the perfect style party game. If you're looking for more games to play, couch co-op with 4 players and all that, this game is one we might want to look into. And then from here you have a task. Like this one is you have to grab all the strawberries, put it into the tart or the cake or whatever this thing is. But it's called Cake Bash for a reason. So if somebody has something that you want, you can punch it out of their way, get it out of their hands. You can grab it and you can toss it in there. You get the points for it. There's other items you can pick up that'll help you along the way, of course. It gets pretty crazy, it gets pretty intense. I love the visuals, I love the art. I just love everything, how this game looks. Like I'm gonna be loving this game for a long, long time. Cake Bash, you can check it out now. It's available right now. Memoranda is a game I really wanted to check out. Another game, I was drawn by the art, but now that I am playing it, it's so much more in depth than that. Now the art style I think is really cool. I like games that look like this. But it has a little puzzle element too. You see, Memoranda, the character herself, can't really remember much. So she's constantly, like forgetting things, I guess. She's like, I better bring my map along, so don't forget where I live, stuff like that. But then it has these little in-game puzzles to solve, and you're just trying to figure it all out, man. You can pick up items too, and sometimes it's like use this item on that to get something to work. So far, so cool. Haven't beaten it yet, but Memoranda is, it's a pretty neat game. I wanted to show it off to you. Good, just love how it looks. Love this. Come on. I want this piece hanging in my hanging on my wall.
I think
This game's called The Long Return. It's a little 3D platformy, not a whole lot of action, but there are puzzles. So you do a little 3D platformy part, and then you solve the puzzle. And these kind of puzzles, think Legend of Zelda style block pushing puzzles. So far, that's all I've seen. Now, there might be more later on in this game. I've only played a few levels of this, but still, just enough that I want to let you know that, hey, so far I've been liking this game, and if you like this style of game, maybe you'll like it too. And the 3D platforming parts is done really well too. I think it just looks smooth, it looks fluid. Love the music in this game as well. A lot going on for this game. And it's okay that there's no, I'm not like fighting enemies and stuff like that. So take your time at your own pace. Just have some fun with The Long Return. Clea, I downloaded 100% because my daughter loved what this character looked like. and I'm glad I did. It is a 2D side-scrolling sneaking game. You play the role of Clea, I'm assuming that's her name, and you have like your little brother, and there's Creepy McCreeperface creeping around in your place as well. So you gotta make sure that you're hiding by the time Creeper McCreeperface, that's not his real name. All right, you gotta hide from this dude, or he'll get you, and then it's game over, and you'll have to, play again or play some more. Another game, again, I like the art style in this game, and the creepy guy is just creepy enough, just hiding from him, Clea, it's available now, and yeah, check it out. Puddle Knights proves that chivalry is not dead. You actually control both the knights and this lady of prestige, I suppose. So you need to get to that glowing section of the map, and that's your puzzle, right? Now there are these puddles that are in the way, and she's not going to get her nice dress ruined. She's not going to step in the water. She's not going to step in the puddle. That's where the chivalrous knights come into play. And with their long tasseled robes or capes or whatever that is, they cover up the water. So she can step on them and move to where she needs to go. And she can't move if the cape is, still on the guy kind of thing. So there's a lot of puzzle elements going on with this game. I love these style of puzzle games. It's the perfect thing to play between other long hardcore games. It's like, man, I need something else in my mind for a moment. And this is one of those style of games. And I love it. I like it so far. Limelight, well, it just looked cool. It's another puzzle style game, but there are enemies in the way that you have to avoid. And everything's done on a line. I mean, you play the glowing white thing, and naturally you can imagine that the red guys are the enemies. And different switches will do different things for the levels and the things, and you gotta, I don't know how much I can tell you about this game. You have to collect the kind of diamond-looking pieces, and the more you move on to the next stage, the next area, it makes, a bigger map area for you to explore. It's a total chill kind of game, and maybe it's right up your alley. This game called Replica, for some reason I kind of got into this game is played on your cell phone style game, where the only thing you're looking at is your cell phone, and you're trying to trying to solve the puzzle. Like the very first thing on this game that you have to figure out is you don't know the password to get into your own phone. Turns out it's not your phone, but spoiler alert. But you end up figuring it out, and you figure it out, by looking at the clues on the phone, you know, the voicemails, the text messages. You can look at the photos if you'd like, and there's people you can call. And then the more you kind of click around and press on buttons, the more you're trying to figure out, that's what's happening. Okay. All right, then. Yeah, again, I don't know what it is. I love games like this. Skatemasta Tcheco, is that what it's pronounced? Now, the other Tcheco game was in one of these Switch videos earlier, but there's a new one, and this one, he's always skateboarding. Now, this game not only looks like a Nintendo game, I'm pretty sure they programmed this as a Nintendo game. I mean, it's not like Shovel Knight looks like an NES game, but totally isn't. This game looks like it could totally be on an NES cart, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was basically a ROM that they put on here. But that's what makes this game give that charm. I just had to check it out for myself, and hey, you know what? So far, pretty neat. I could have seen this being, you know, a playable game on the NES back in the day. I believe this game comes from Brazil. Now that's cool. Shout out to Brazil, because Brazil is doing great things for retro games. Skatemasta Tcheco. This one's on the Switch. Hey, what about Gun Pig? What about Gun Pig? Well, you are a pig and you have lots of guns. Twin stick shooter on this one. You move and then the other stick controls which direction you're shooting. A lot of enemies coming your way and you just have to get to the base and get to the next level. Upgraded shots too, you'll find those around the areas. It's kind of cool to see what level's gonna be next or what fruit is gonna do what for your guns and all that. Hey, you know what? If you love games like this, Gun Pig, it's available now. Destroplois was one of those games that I've never heard of, didn't know anything about, and oh my goodness gracious, it has an art style that pleases my eyeballs. It has an art style and a look that just satisfies my ocular cavities, which is pretty much what I just said. So basically, you shoot everything. All the red guys anyway. All the red guys are the bad guys. You're the kind of bluish guy, I guess. And the more you shoot these guys, the more you get guns, better guns, bombs, force fields, and stuff like that. And I was so impressed with how many moving things were on screen with no slowdown. There's no break in this game. You just gotta keep moving, man. You just gotta keep going. Because these things aren't gonna stop from rolling into you and taking damage and all that. This game gets pretty intense, but those guns are gonna help out. Destroplois, this game, man, it's fun to see how many enemies can just kind of gang up on you. And how you take care of them, that's all up to you. Picklock is a super neato game. I wanted to show this off to you. Now it uses pixels. Well, no, it's 3D pixels, so I guess that's voxels, right? So this game's a voxel-based game. Everything's made out of blocks. And it's called Picklock because you're bored and you're gonna pick the lock of your neighbor's house and steal all their stuff. So that's the first thing you do is you go and steal their stuff. Now, fortunately, with the commands on your Switch, on your controller, it can tell you like what doors open up, what things you can grab and all that. But then later levels involve like security guards that you got to avoid, stuff like that too. So there's a sneaking element too. But I just loved how it's another one of those, I loved how it looked and I just had to check it out. And it's called Picklock and it's available right now. All right, so I thought this was Max 2 Reloaded. I guess it's called Max Reloaded 2. PlayStation over the shoulder, I could see this game be like a PlayStation 1 game. But it has that kind of 90s over the shoulder aesthetic where you're just killing all the bad guys, shooting as many of them as you can. You can hop in these cars and drive around too. You can drive over them, that's easier for you. Different stages have different goals. Some of them are just, kill a bunch of people. Some of them are how many vans can you blow up? Yeah, stuff like that. Games that look like this, if that appeases you, we have it available for you in the world of Max Reloaded 2. This game's called Sqool, and oh my goodness, what a trip it is. And you can also draw on this little drawing thing. And just how this game looks, it reminds me almost of like an Adventure Time style game or something like that. Hey, you can pick up other things along the way too, like, oh, I found a new, you find a new paintbrush, you find an eraser, you find, new colors and stuff like that. And just how this world looks makes me so intrigued to play more of it. And there's so many great other Nintendo Switch games that nobody's talking about, and the games just keep coming. I'll keep my eye out for new Switch games, and you keep your eyes out for new videos because they're always coming out soon.